Welcome everyone to another installment of Club Baroness. This will be a bit of a shorter episode. It's wrapping up the round robin group stage of the 1v1, and we're going to be doing the draws for the knockout stage of the 1v1. I'd like to introduce here with me Reborn Guinan, the host of the channel. And we also have with us Some Poor Choices.
Somebody's poor favorite.
And so what we're going to go ahead and do here, first thing we're going to run through is the results of the groups. I know we covered that a little bit, so we're going to be brief on this in our last episode we had. So why don't you go ahead and take that away, starting with Group A, Poor Choices.
Okay, so Group A, we had those three people we thought were going to be top of the group between Esper, Bregan, and Murder. Bregan ekes out over a win over Murder, Esper not dropping a single one. We have Esper taking first seed and Bregan taking second seed. Well, you know, I liked it. It was a good matchup. You guys can watch the video, come to your own conclusions.
Murder's still 2-2, which was respectable.
In Group B, we have Zanxis looking incredibly dominant, not dropping a single game, let alone or a single match within a game, however we break those down. And then Math also looking very strong, coming out 4-1, only really losing horribly to Zanxis. So also a very strong group that we're expecting to see a lot out of. Multitude, Warhammer, Mario, and Riketsu also had great showings and great games, but just not able to string anything together like the two at the top of the group. Group C had Shadow Shield also emerging 5-0 with a big upset win over Reborn Guinan. Reborn, who was expected to take the win, does beat the Wolf and is able to advance out of groups. He comes out in the second seed, but he's the second seed that we all still expect something big out of. But Shadow, I mean, not surprising to him, but surprising to the rest of us. We'll see how he goes going forward as the first seed. Group D, we have the very surprising me advancing first seed through some magical combination of luck and timing. And Evolution, the king of the Blazing Rush, takes second seed, only losing to me. Came out a little late with an interesting strategy. We'll see if he adapts coming into round 2. So there's your quick Poor Choices breakdown.
Thank you, Poor Choices, and back to you, Gunnan. No. So we'll go ahead and move in. We're going to do the matchups. What we're going to do here is first I will draw and fill in the first seeds. So you'll see what the bracket starts to look like, and then we'll fill in the second seeds after all the first seeds have been drawn, and we'll talk about matchups one at a time during the second seed draw. So if you're ready, Guinan, we can go ahead and draw the first one.
Wait. Calibri? What is that? No, we need a real font. Comic Sans. All right.
Oh, no. Arial Narrow, bro.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Do we got a drum roll out of anybody here for the first one?
No, because we're a broken drum.
Yes.
This is not the Civil War tournament. I will do my own drum because y'all suck. Shadow Shield is the first one.
Oh my god, Comic Sans is painful. I lied about Comic Sans.
Well, it's too late. We have already committed to this. It's too late. It's already happening. And let's see. Our second first seed is going to be from Group D, Some Poor Choices.
All right, number 2. I can deal with that.
Our third first seed is going to be Esper 51, which leaves us in the bottom right corner of the bracket, Zanxis.
Also known as, how in the world do you write a name with all these stupid letters? I mean, I love you, Zanxis. All right, I got them up.
All right, so we'll go ahead and, like I said, now we're going to introduce the second seeds here. And as we introduce the second seed, we're not going to move through and do them all at once. We're going to talk about each matchup as we go through. Let's see, the first, second seed.
So this will be Shadow Shield's opponent, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, who is paired with Shadow Shield will be myself, Bregan 123.
Oh, I like this matchup. So Bregan, of course, very strong player. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my analysis.
Sure.
Bregan, a very strong player. We've all known him around. Shadow's kind of the opposite. A little bit more obscure. They're both veterans, but nobody really knows what to expect. You know, Bregan's the one actually recording all, giving his analysis. We know exactly what his thoughts are. So I really like this kind of juxtaposition of the matchup. I am going to give a slight edge to Bregan, unless Shadow takes my advice and bans Palace just to see how it works out.
I have a feeling that on Palace, Reagan is going to get hit by Psycho Burst. That's
We
I think Bregan's gonna bring the good old psycho knife, and he's gonna take the whole psycho suppository. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close series. I want to give Shadow the edge. He surprised me before.
Guinan always has so much faith in me. Every podcast we do, I don't think there's been a single matchup he's predicted to me to win.
You know what?
Yet.
You're my favorite upset. See, if I don't expect much out of you, you always surprise me.
Like, I think you've predicted me to lose to Goat and Silent. You predicted me to lose versus Ghostweed and Multitude. I think you predicted me to lose versus Nathan Wolf.
I light a
think
fire
you
under
predicted me
you.
to lose
and it's
every
been
single
working for
matchup.
you.
You're welcome.
You should be thanking him. Yeah.
All right. Anything anybody else wants to add or subtract from my ego?
I think if you shot Rock, Shadow will get Rock shot at him.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
taking,
that was.
I'm taking Bregan 3-2. Close series 3-2.
All right.
Palace.
I think it's going to come down to the end of the series for sure.
Moving on to our next matchup, we have, again, this was some poor choices, and our second seed will be Mr. Math 101.
I think you write it this way. I'm sorry if not. Is there a space? Do you know?
No, it's all one word,
Okay, cool.
I believe.
Oh,
Now I'm not sure.
He's going to deal with it because it is cemented onto my paint document, which is very high-tech, mind you.
Well, see, what not everybody's going to realize about this matchup is these guys have been trash-talking each other. I don't know why these two have really mixed into it, but they've been trash-talking each other for weeks now. And I know Math has come to resent all of the lost in the semifinals to Monkey jokes, and Poor Choices really jumped on that bandwagon. They've been really egging each other on. So this is going to be a grudge matchup, even though they haven't really played each other much in the past.
I'm excited because... Yeah, because we could, if Mr. Math lost in the semis, Choices could lose in the quarters. And that could be the new meme.
No!
We also...
The new meme is this: Poor Choices can't make it past quarters.
So
That's my realistic fear.
So if we look at the left side of the bracket, I'm seeing an interesting thing where we have some matchups that have close to parity. We're not seeing like top and bottom facing each other. And we've got 2 jumpers and 2 cartwheelers. So these will be very different matches. And I think very different play styles. Like Shadow and Bregan are rather aggressive. Choices and Math run away from everybody. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that Poor Choices and Math actually have a really similar play style.
I agree.
I think Math is a little bit more willing to dip into the hanging pool and things like that, but they both play a ton of nature, a ton of turbulence and wind pressure and orb and things like that. They're always prepared for that. So it comes down to, like, is one of them going to get a different read on the other and bring a different play style, or who can play that play style better if neither one decides to bring something different?
I just want to say for the record, I was trying to create a rivalry to be more fun, to have something going on, and I instantly regret it now.
Well, I think it'll still be a fun matchup. Like, I know you're, like, quaking in your boots, and honestly, like, any of the matchups could have been difficult for you, but this one, I think it'll be closer than some people might originally guess. If you'd asked me about this matchup, like, say, 2-3 months ago, I think Math would have taken you with his eyes closed. But you've been playing a lot, you've been practicing a lot. I've played a ton of 1v1 against Poor Choices in the past month or two, and he has improved a lot. So I got to give him that. I got to give him that he's been working on getting his chops. And he has a solid shot here. I think I'd still favor Math in the matchup, as he does really enjoy the 1v1 style.
I want a prediction.
But I think it's going to be 3-2 Math, but I think Poor Choices has a solid shot of pulling off the upset here.
I'd like to mention, we brought that up in Club Baroness before, about Math having a 1v1. That's slightly a misconception, according to him. I don't know where it came from. Maybe just him.
No, that was about Jay.
Was that
Jay?
Jay?
About Jay, not
Darn
me.
it, these guys are the same. They all play the same. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Deal with it.
Says Guinan, who
Plays the same.
still doesn't know his matchup. We'll have to see if he thinks he can even make it out of quarter before he's trash talking the other side of the bracket.
Before we move on, I would be hyper excited to play either of these gentlemen in this game. I'm just happy I'm on the right side. Not because I don't like Choices in Shadow Shield, but these my boys. Let's see what happens.
All right, so reminder, this is Esper 51, and we're going to draw the second seed to face Esper now.
I gave you
And it's Evolution.
how does Evolution write his name? IV, right?
It's LV.
Is it LV?
Yeah, lowercase L's.
Oh my lord, Evolution.
All right. Well, while he's typing, I'm going to tell you why I like this matchup. Evolution kind of completely switched up his play style, brought a blazing rush, and nobody really expected it from him. I don't know if he's going to bring the same thing, but Esper we've seen using almost the entirely same set of skills in every match we have recorded against Bregan in one of his big plays. So, both
He did the same thing to Murder, too.
Did we lose your choices?
of them had very, and I want to see how they adapt to see on this next level of quarterfinals.
Well, and the thing to remember here, too, is this is a team that played in the tag team tournament together, and there was more than a little bit of discontent between them, and they just
Tension.
never really synergized. Yeah, there's tension. They didn't really synergize their styles, and I know that both kind of wanted the other to play more along the lines of what they were doing. So it'll be interesting here now. It's kind of the grudge match. It'll be, seeking to prove which of us had the better style and the better read, and who's going to be able to take down the other. So I do like that storyline coming into this. That said, Esper has shown a lot of dominance in Group A, and Evolution did advance with a 4-1 record from a very difficult group himself. I think Evolution's definitely proved an upset already in this tournament, and it's possibly proves another upset here, as if anybody knows Esper's play style, Evolution does.
Here's my sense on this. This is the Razor's Edge matchup. This is going to be decided in the first 2 blows that land. Because all this blazing, all this aggression, once someone gets the pressure and goes, games are going to be over. And that's really cool. I'm excited to see that, I think.
I mean, it's possible, but we don't know what Evolution's going to decide to do versus Esper.
Yeah. I guess I'm
maybe
based
he
off
decides
knowledge I
to.
have.
Maybe he decides to go anti the rush strategy and try and shut that down rather than counter it with his own rush.
But even if
whatever
you're
he does
anti-rush,
bring,
even if you're anti-rush, if he hits him with the first 2 ice swords, that's scary. That could be game. We've seen it before.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if whoever brings whoever gets the lead, are we going to see the same 3 decks multiple times? Same
Ooh, that's
deck
interesting.
multiple times.
Well, I mean, you can basically assume that out of Esper. He'll, at best, he might run. He's going to run his Faith Nature version of the Blazing, and then he might once run his Nature Psycho version of it.
Indeed.
All right, that's my key to winning this match, is to see once they clash who adapts the best.
All right, so
and
what's
can
this
pull
last
from
game?
theirs.
I want to know.
Well,
Well,
there's only 2 players remaining, and Xanxus, we don't even need to pull the last name here. So this is Xanxus, and it's going to be, this is like the triple rematch grudge match, Xanxus versus Reborn Guinan.
Yeah,
For those who
this
haven't
is a
been following the
match-
tournaments, I'll give you a little bit of background first. So Xanxus faced Guinan in the last 1v1 tournament in round 1. And Guinan really hadn't practiced for the 1v1. He said there was a bit of lag, and he lost 0-3. Says they were close games. Nobody saw them except for those 2. But it sounds like it was a pretty hot series despite the 3-0 win for Xanxus. They've since played each other twice in the tag tournament now. Guinan and Murder Mastodon took down Xanxus and Zexus the last time they met, but the first game was won by Xanxus and Zexus. So it's these guys just keep coming back around, full circle, bouncing off of each other.
And that first one was a 3-2-1, so I mean, a good match, anyone's perspective.
Yes, it was definitely good matches between these guys, and I think it's been real exciting to see yet another rematch here. And now that they've both been playing more 1v1, adapted their styles to it, have practiced it, Xanxus actually won the last 1v1 tournament, and it's going to be an exciting matchup. Because, I mean, with recency bias, with 1v1, Xanxus won the last tournament and the last matchup, but the most recent would be the tag tournament, which was won by Guinan, actually.
So it's interesting because we have the winner of the 1v1 tournament versus the winner of the tag tournament.
Well, you're not the winner of the tag tournament yet. You're just in the finals.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Well, I'll say that again in 3 weeks then.
Oh man, he used Fortress of Arrogance yet again. Just this is interesting to me because Geigen, of course, does have a huge chip on his shoulder about being underestimated against Xanxus. When we had this last podcast, Evolution talked about Xanxus being his hands-down front runner. And Keigan took great offense to that. This is a match you kind of expected to see in the finals. Everyone thinks of these two players as two top players, but I really like that one of them is going to be out of this tournament.
Right?
Just-
Yeah. From the
Just
perspective,
because I'm on the other side.
on the perspective of the left side of the bracket, you cannot face Esper, Xanxus, and Guinan. That's just not going to happen. That's pretty
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah, it's
So-
definitely an interesting side of the bracket here on the right side. I'd say the 3 players I would have had pegged as my 3 best in this tournament are all on the same side of the bracket there. It's going to be real interesting to see how that shakes out. Any player who wins his way out of that won't have had an easy road. Esper maybe not having it as rough because he will only have to play one of Xanxus or Guinan.
If he wins.
But it'll be similar to last time. Xanxus didn't have the easiest road to the finals in the last 1v1 tournament, but he sure didn't let it stop him either. He took him down all the way through. And so I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch this. What's your prediction on the Xanxus Guinan matchup? Poor choices.
I think it's actually going to be 3-1 and 1 draw, and I'm going to give it to Reborn for the sole reason I think he's more efficient at running jank, and I think it's going to be a lot of weird jank arsenals.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to go the opposite here. I think Xanxus is actually shown to be stronger in 1v1 than he is in tag. Not to say that Xanxus is holding him back. I think that Xanxus has just shown that he is a stronger player in 1v1. And I think Xanxus can take the series. I think it's still going to be a real fun back and forth series. I'm going to go 3-2, maybe 3-2-1 even. And I think Xanxus actually takes this series here.
Well, I won't
Okay,
give
can
a
we-
prediction, but I will tell you there's probably going to be a draw. You can see my record. Let me just pull up my record really quick.
I think we both predicted a draw.
I am the draw master. Look at that. I love standing around doing nothing. It is how I play Phantom Dust.
Fair enough. We never actually got the breakdown for Evolution and Esper. I think we should do that,
Oh,
if
yeah.
only because when we underestimate Evolution, he tends to do well. So I'm going to take a 3-1 for Esper.
Guinan?
I want to give it. Sorry, Murder. I want to give it to Evolution because I think Esper has been playing rather one-dimensionally. He's playing it rock solid. He's playing it fantastically, but he's playing one-dimensionally. And Evolution is probably his first opponent who's going to really try to take advantage of that. There will be others, but I think he'll be the first one to try.
Yeah, I got to agree with that sentiment. Esper has played the same style for a long time, and it's worked really well for him. He's a very strong player with that style. But for example, even in the group stage, when I played him on the very first day of the group stage with no prep. Murder, I don't think put in any time, like any effort to really counter his single strategy he tends towards. It'll be interesting now because you only have one matchup, and Evolution is somebody who likes to prepare heavily for an opponent. It'll be real interesting to see when somebody has time and effort put into it, what they can do to Esper.
But by not underestimating him, you've just doomed him. The irony.
Indeed.
Well, I guess that wraps it up for us. Is there anything else anybody else would like to add before we close this out?
While we're here...
just-
Oh, sorry, go on.
Math, please do not 3-0 me like Monkey did to you. That's all I ask.
So, I'm looking at a calendar right now. It is the 9th, which is Thursday. What should we look at for start and end time for this so players can know?
Well, you can play anytime from here on out. I'll also make sure there's a text post for those who don't listen into this. You can play from here on out, and we'll give you until next Saturday at midnight.
So, 18th at midnight, so not 19th. You heard it here, folks.
You want to do a quick blurb on Veterans Day?
Oh, yeah, by the
Sure.
way, other tournaments, Bragan's helping me with this, but I'll take the lead here. We've been planning an idea of like a one-shot tournament, all in one day. You sit down for a couple hours, have some fun, don't have to worry about timing and stuff. We talk about veterans here all the time, but we have an actual Veterans Day coming up. So I want to support the legitimate veterans of our world. And I have a charity tournament. The fundraiser is live on Facebook, and so is the event page. I'm going to show up with some more people to record. We're going to play Battle Royale. You're going to backstab me. I'm going to die horribly. It's going to be on tape. We're going to make money for people who need it. It'll be great. You should come.
Yeah, that'll be this Saturday from 1 to 4 Eastern, and that'll be, I believe, 9 to 1 or 9 to noon on Pacific time.
Yeah, it's 1 to 4 Eastern.
All right.
So come show up and win some pride.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch you next time.